Hi, I'm Gary Anderson. I'm the Commissioner of Insurance here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And let me first off by saying thank you to Commissioner Mays and the Connecticut Department for organizing this event. We often talk about how we need to do a better job or be more effective at making the world of insurance more exciting or interesting. And I think efforts like this really help us to move in that direction. And Rachel, as I have often told you, when someone asks me what I do for work and I don't really feel like getting into a long conversation about it, I just tell them that I'm in insurance, and that typically kills the conversation. I know that doesn't sound sexy, but in fact, it really is. And we need to look no further than the incorporation of AI and machine learning into the insurance space, which is, I think, really intriguing, but also challenging because we want to ensure that the technology that we use is applied fairly to everyone. Just imagine the amounts of data that some of these century-old insurance companies have and how they can use that data to create better products. But before I get too excited or go too far into why we do what we do, let me pause here. And before I share a little bit more about me, and Rachel, maybe you can share with us some of your professional and educational background.
Sure. I'm Rachel Davison. I've been the first deputy commissioner for the Massachusetts Division of Insurance for about 2 years. That's such an odd title, first deputy. My dad wondered if I would get a badge, and my sister jokes that it's like being the first runner-up in the Miss America pageant, where if for any reason the winner's unable to fulfill their duties, I get to step up. But it actually comes from the insurance laws, and it's intended to create a succession plan should anything happen to the commissioner, and I hope it doesn't. I'm actually the senior advisor to the commissioner as we regulate the business of insurance in Massachusetts, and I get to see all aspects of the division's operations. I started with the division in 2015 as general counsel, coming from private practice, where I was a partner in a law firm. And when the opportunity to join the division came along, it was something I couldn't pass up. Insurance was familiar to me, having done insurance coverage work. That's basically figuring out whether insurance is available for a particular claim, analyzing an insurance policy and applying it to the facts. And while I had done that for years before coming to the DOI, I quickly learned that I actually knew very little about insurance because it's so much broader than coverage work. At the division, you get to see so much more. And as an insurance regulator, you get to see it all from a very different perspective. Commissioner, maybe you want to talk a little bit about your path to DOI and your current role?
Yeah, happy to chat a bit about my professional background. And don't want to forget something to pick up on later that you said, which is that, once you came to the Division of Insurance, you were able to see this broader picture of the insurance world that you might not have been privy to while you were at the law firm. And honestly, the same goes for me. We can discuss that maybe here in a minute. And kind of like you, Rachel, I am not a native to Massachusetts. I grew up in Idaho. I traveled east for law school to New York. And then after that, I came to Boston. Prior to law school, I had the opportunity to work in the insurance world for a company in the Northwestern United States. And so that was my introduction into the types of products that are sold in the market and which product best fits each policyholder. Then, like I mentioned, I came east for law school. And after law school, I landed in Boston for a job. And that job in Boston was at the intersection of policy and politics and law. That was in the Massachusetts legislature. So just prior to joining the Division of Insurance here in Massachusetts, I worked as a policy advisor and counsel to the Massachusetts Senate President. And in that particular role, I built on a previous role, and I oversaw issues related to the financial services sector, which included banking and insurance. And much of the work was post-financial crisis, so it obviously included a lot of banking-related work. But I am really glad that it was a role related to insurance that came my way. Again, a bit like you, Rachel, I was approached about an opportunity at the Division of Insurance, and I once was, like you, the first runner-up. That is the first deputy commissioner, and that was just prior to my role as the commissioner. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the opportunities we both had have allowed us to see the insurance world from a very unique perspective, which I feel very fortunate about. And it is unique because we interact with all things insurance. I mean, just in Massachusetts, it alone is roughly about a $60 billion insurance market. This means that the Massachusetts market usually ranks around the top 10 as far as the largest U.S. Markets among the states and the territories. It's actually the 27th largest insurance market in the world. And there are about 1,700 insurance companies here in the Commonwealth doing business, and about 140,000 licensed agents, which we call producers. And we get about 20,000 consumer inquiries every year in our consumer services unit. Now, those numbers represent the big picture, but insurance is intimate in that it can impact each of us in a very personal way. In that vein, Rachel, maybe you can share with us, why insurance? Maybe some of the benefits of working in insurance.
Well, insurance is everywhere. It provides financial protection in the event of an accident, an injury, a loss. And that can really provide peace of mind in times of need, whether you're in a car accident or if you have appendicitis or if you lose a loved one. And there's so many different types of insurance. Everybody probably knows about auto insurance or homeowners or renters insurance, health insurance, maybe even life insurance. There's disability insurance, there's workers' compensation insurance, professional liability insurance. You can even get pet insurance, wedding insurance, kidnapping insurance, alien abduction insurance. There's even insurance for those furniture store giveaways. If there's a no-hitter or the team makes the playoffs and everyone gets free furniture, there's insurance behind that. People might think that insurance is boring and stuffy, but I think that's because maybe they don't know. It's constantly evolving and there's always something new, maybe a new product or a new policy, maybe a better way of interacting with policyholders, like letting them submit accident photos they've taken on their cell phone or using bots for consumer service. But even with bots or recent developments, like you mentioned with artificial intelligence or machine learning, we still need people in insurance. All of these innovations, they start as ideas and they need teams to implement them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's fascinating to think about the potential of some of the innovations that you just highlighted, Rachel, from the use of AI and machine learning and talking to bots, and those bots being operated by behavioral science to better detect fraud. But like you noted, it does come down to people, and that is people creating the AI, the ML, and the bots, and how we deploy these tools to make insurance more impactful and effective. It's an area that's constantly evolving, even dating back to a French nobleman in the 1600s who wanted to better predict his gambling habit. He wanted to know what his chances were of rolling a 6 in a certain sequence. Well, the mathematicians that actually helped him by demonstrating that a mathematical probability could actually be determined ended up triggering a revolution in the development of probability theories across Europe, which led to them applying their findings to calculate life expectancy, which eventually led to the development of life insurance. So in a way, they were predicting the future. And arguably it is no different today, except that the tools we use today are even more adept. But we need, as you said, we need people to create and to refine and employ these tools.
And while the commissioner and I, we both came from backgrounds as lawyers, and that's how we came to the DOI, there's so many other paths that you can take. There are so many different opportunities in insurance. You can be a regulator in an insurance department like we are, and there's an insurance department in every state. You can work at an insurance company or an insurance agency. You can work at a company that provides insurance-related services, like helping with the administration of claims. And there's so many different roles, even within those different organizations. Let's say you like working with people. You can be in a consumer services role, or you can be in a sales role. If your interests are in IT, there are all sorts of opportunities, everything from working the help desk to programming to data analytics. You could be an investigator, an accountant, an actuary, a lawyer, a data scientist, a claims adjuster, the list goes on. And there's no specific path or educational path that you need to take. You can have a background in business management. You can study math, history, climate science. You can work your way up from the mailroom to being a research assistant to an examiner, on and on. There's really something for everyone. So Commissioner, why do you think they should get involved now?
Yeah, why now? Well, I think, like I mentioned earlier, Rachel, I think, as I said, insurance has been around for hundreds of years and it's not going anywhere. So there is a certain stability to it. But there is a lot about insurance that we need to tweak. There are communities that are underserved and countries that are just now developing. Commissioner Mays and I have had the opportunity to serve with international responsibilities, and it's allowed the two of us a view into how we create consistency in regulation across the globe and operations on the company's side, how we create consistency there. And also how we can expand the reach of insurance to protect people who right now are not protected. So like you said, Rachel, I think there are a multitude of opportunities and really a global marketplace just waiting for those who want to grab those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, while I never thought about as a career path in insurance, I'm really glad that it's the path that I'm on. And I do hope that other people consider it too.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Not only do I get to learn something new every single day, but I do feel the work of insurance is mission driven. There's an incredible amount of satisfaction that I derive from knowing that we are a part of something that makes communities, states, nations stronger and more resilient. So with that, Rachel, maybe I'll take the opportunity for the two of us to thank, again, Commissioner Mays, the Connecticut Department, for all the work that they've done to put events like this together to sing the praises of the work in the insurance sector and the hope that others will join us in this work. So thanks again.